What's up? What's up? Yeah, we're here doing the do. In about 5 minutes, give or take, Tszyu is going to be having a press conference with, of course, his opponent, Takeshi Inoue. Remember, he fought Jaime Munguia a few years ago. Jaime Munguia defeated via unanimous decision in another war, Gabriel Rosado, last night. Here, let me pull up this stuff for you. I can't remember the last time I did a stream on a Sunday night. I believe this is still the Boxing Voices time slot, right? Let's see here. Hold on. The press conference is going to be starting in about 5 minutes. I'm doing some little background stuff here. So what's going on with you guys? You guys all right? Here, let's go look. 19-0 with 15 KOs. His opponent, Takeshi Inoue. 17-1-1 with 10 KOs. His resume is shit. Let me tell you, outside of Jaime Munguia, which was in January of 2019. Look who he's fought. A 38-10 Kamsan Polsan in the end of 2019. Inoue Nerndy. I like this name though. Sounds like a Mortal Kombat name. In January, just before the COVID lockdowns, January of 2020, Tszyu. And then his only fight during the COVID lockdowns, and this guy, by the way, is on the Tszyu versus Inoue undercard, Nwachukwu. Lord, I'm butchering that name. But you know what really bothers me? Is that there's no U.S. stateside TV deal. Well, let me take this. Damn, this intrusive ass ad, bro. BoxRec, what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, hold on. Let me do something here. Turn that damn timer off. So yeah, the press conference is going to be starting soon. A little high as a kite here. Give me a minute. There we go. All right. So let me make sure I got everything all pulled up. Hey, I like Tszyu, but to be honest, you know, shit, we got to talk about it. His father's name. He is the current WBO mandatory for via shenanigans. We did a whole video on it, me and Big J. He's the current WBO mandatory for Browne Castano. But we're still waiting on what's going to happen with Browne Castano. Oh, shoot. Jamel Charlo and Bakhram Murtazaliev, who's the IBF mandatory, because Charlo Castano can't go through unless Murtazaliev agrees for it to go through the IBF mandatory, because he's been waiting so long to get his IBF shot. By the way, Erickson Lubin, who I thought was the WBC mandatory, is not. Sergio Garcia and Sebastian Fundora are going to be fighting on the undercard of Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz December the 5th. In an eliminator, and the winner of that has to fight Erickson Lubin to be the WBC mandatory. Crazy, right? I believe that's how it works, or are they the next mandatory? No, I believe it's supposed to be Erickson Lubin facing the winner of Sergio Garcia versus Fundora. So basically, here are the current mandatories right now. From my understanding, Murtazaliev gets his shot first. That's if Charlo Castano 2 goes through. The winner of that gets, unless the winner moves up that fight, but let's stay at 154. The winner of Charlo Castano 2, if it happens, has to fight Murtazaliev. I expect for Murtazaliev to be the co-feature, maybe fighting for the IBF interim, and then the next mandatory in line is Tszyu. If Tszyu gets through Takeshi Inoue on November the 17th, which is a Wednesday morning here in the States. Over in the Australian territories, I guess I may pull it up now. The press conference is going to start momentarily. Over in Australian territories, it's going to be a pay-per-view fight. They pay $60 each fight to watch Tszyu face guys like Stevie Spark, Dennis Hogan, Bowen Morgan. Alexa, stop. Bowen Morgan, Jeff Horn. They've been paying a pretty penty for Tszyu fights. Let me go start the press conference here. Oh, yep, they're live. So me and Big J will talk to you guys.
I'm Ben Damon from Main Event Television. Great to be a part of proceedings here today. Really looking forward to these fights on Wednesday night. Of course, you can get out to Homebush at Kudos Bank Arena. There's still some tickets that are left. They're available via Ticketek, so get there if you can, because they're expecting over 10,000 people at this event. And as you can see here today, we've got about 10,000 fighters on what is a stacked undercard. 8 fights in total. You can see it all from 6 p.m. on Fox Sports, then over at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time on Main Event pay-per-view. And it's going to be an outstanding night of boxing with a stacked undercard and, of course, this main event, which means so much in the careers of both Tszyu and Takeshi Inoue. We'll be talking to those fighters as well as a number of the fighters on the undercard here today at the official press conference. I want to make mention as well of the fact that there is a double header coming up in Newcastle on the 9th and 10th of December via No Limit, and single tickets are going on sale today for the second of those dates, December 10, the Paul Gallen v Josh Aloye fight. So get those tickets as well. But right now, we are worried about Wednesday night, Tszyu v Inoue, and I'm joined by the promoter, George Rose. George, everyone's here. It's got a big fight feel to it, doesn't it?
It has. It's got a great feel. There's been a fantastic build-up, and I think the support that we've had here in Sydney in particular, the ticket sales are fantastic. I'm excited to get out here to Kudos Bank Arena because we've got a great venue, we've got a stacked undercard, and I'm expecting massive fireworks come Wednesday night.
And you're expecting a big crowd as well. Are we going to get over that 10,000 mark?
Yeah, very exciting. As I said, first time at Kudos, we were hoping to get a great show. The fact that we're going to have over 10,000 people out there, the buzz in the room is going to be fantastic, and it'll come through the screens too at home. So it's going to create that big fight feel. All of these guys are ready to put on a show, and we're going to see Tszyu back in action here in Sydney again. We'll
talk about the main event in just a moment, but we've got a stack of the undercard fighters here. What are you most excited about before we get to that main event?
Look, I can't name one fight that I'm most excited about. Every one of these guys sitting here at the press conference, they're all here to steal the show. And that's what I absolutely love. All of these guys have shown in the past that they put on great performances. And they don't want to just turn up and participate. They want to turn up, they want to get the win, and they want to put on a great show. I think there's some fantastic matchups that we've got, and some super exciting prospects that we've got as well to put on a fantastic show.
It's a big risk for Tszyu, this fight, and a big risk for you guys at No Limit as well. Do you have some butterflies at this stage, a couple of days out, when you've taken a gamble like this?
Look, you can call it a gamble. I think when you're talking about Tszyu, I don't think anything's a gamble. I'm always confident that he's going to get a win. He always delivers. And no matter the standard of the opponent, he always brings a new performance every time. He always surprises us. And I think for anybody who's been here for the journey of Tszyu from a prospect to Australia's best boxer at the moment, you know, we've watched the evolution of him as a fighter, and we can follow that journey all the way through to a world championship, and that's what we've got planned, and that's what he's got his sights set on. But the first fight here is Takeshi Inoue, who is a fantastic boxer, and it's going to be a very difficult fight. But you know, like I said, Tszyu always surprises us with his performances. He always brings a new little arsenal every time he fights, I think.
Have you been impressed by the confidence that Takeshi Inoue has shown?
Look, I am very impressed, but if I looked like that, I'd be very confident as well. I think he's turned up ready to fight. He's world ranked for a reason. He's the best fighter in Japan for a reason, and you know, he's got every right to be confident. But we'll find out on Wednesday night where that all lands.
Anything to add, George, before we move on to these undercard fighters? I know we'll be directing people to Ticketek or to mainevent.com.au.
Definitely. Don't miss out on this one. It's going to be massive. Like I said, the buzz in the room is going to be fantastic, but also watching live at home, best seats in the house as well. So don't miss out on that.
Okay, we'll move on to this undercard, and as I mentioned, proceedings do start at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time on Fox Sports before we move to pay-per-view on Main Event at 7 p.m. One of the fighters on the early part of proceedings is a heavyweight boxer down the front here. His name is Jackson Murray. He's 1-0 as a professional. Jackson, it was quick smart last time we saw you in the ring on a No Limit promotion in the first round. What should we expect from you against Shant Necessian tomorrow on Wednesday night?
The same thing. I'm been training hard, and yeah, you get paid the same whether you do the full 4 rounds or 10 seconds. So I'll be doing it as early as I can.
Exciting to be a part of the heavyweight division in Australia at the moment too, Jackson. I'm sure you've got some big plans. Any names on the horizon for you, perhaps for a fight next year?
In terms of next year, look, that's all for my manager to sort out. But yeah, 100%. Like any big names, I'm keen for. You know, I got this fight coming up. I'm backing up again on the double header in Newcastle 3 weeks later, and then yeah, we'll go from there and see whatever.
What are people going to see if they tune in for your fight, Jackson Murray, on Wednesday night?
KOs.
Very good. That is Jackson Murray, the heavyweight. You'll see him in action in bout B, so the second bout on the Fox Sports portion of proceedings. The third bout features this man, Benjamin Hussein, who's over to his right. Ben, welcome. This will be your 5th professional fight. You must be excited to be on a big show like this.
Yeah, definitely. Very excited. This is the biggest one I've been on, so yeah, I'm ready to let some hands go, for sure.
Most people will have seen a couple of fights back. Your fight against Ben Marnie, where you suffered that broken jaw and just gutsed it out very, very impressively. What's the journey been like for you recovering and getting going again since then?
It was a little bit hard, the recovery, you know, just like staying in bed, resting up. But when I got the surgery done, I asked the surgeon would I be back. She said, yeah, you should be right. And I knew I was going to be back. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
And what do you know about your opponent, Darwin Segurit?
I know he's tough. I know he's got a little bit of pop. He's a short, thick fella. So, I don't know a crazy amount, but yeah, That's it.
What do you expect to happen in this fight, Ben?
I think I'll come out smart at first and then push for the stoppage late. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben. I will just ask you as well, actually, you've been sparring a lot with Tszyu. How have those rounds been for you, and how's he travelling?
Yeah, those rounds have been phenomenal, world class. He's really fit, you know, and I'd say, yeah, that's how he's travelling. He's fit as, ready for war.
Thank you very much. That is Benjamin Hussein. You'll see him in the third bout of proceedings just before 7 p.m. And then we go to the main event portion of proceedings. And first up there will be Trent Girdham against Alex Lual. Then we move to this fight between Koen Mizutani and Joel Camilleri. Both of those fighters have joined us here today. And I'll start with Koen Mizutani, who is just down the front here, over to my left. Koen, welcome. We saw you yesterday go through your paces in that open training session. There's a new energy to you. Where has that come from?
Yeah, man, I learned a lot from that last fight with Wade, and as much as anything, I've just settled into it, I think. I know the ability I've got and the skill I've got and the experience I've had in the sport, and it's just about putting it on the night. So that's probably where it's coming from at the moment. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the fight night to have a good punch on and have fun in front of the crowd.
Did the occasion get to you a little bit in that fight with Wade Ryan? Obviously, he's a formidable opponent, but do you think maybe being on a big show like that for the first time was a bit daunting?
Yeah, it wasn't as much daunting as just the fact that I was distracted. My focus was waning a little, and I thought, I'm here, I made it, I'm at the show, you know, and my focus from the fight itself waned. And I think I had a little bit of, I was silly enough to be overconfident and doubt Wade's abilities. He taught me a lot that night, as much as the event itself did, and I won't make that mistake again. So, yeah.
Everyone in Australian boxing knows a lot about Joel Camilleri. He's been around for a long time. How do you prepare for a fighter like Joel?
Technically and tactically, you know, we haven't changed a lot. We know that Joel's going to swing his head around and try to run around and whatnot. So they're the little adjustments we've made. But as I said, for me, it's just staying on my game, controlling the pace, controlling the dance, bringing him into my game. And I feel like he's underestimating me too. I feel like he's. I think everyone that's seen this matchup is probably underestimating me. And I'm going to come out on top. I've got no doubt about that.
Coming off a loss, you could have been excused for an easier opponent than this. Why do you go into a fight with Joel?
I'm not scared of no one. Like when I saw the card lined up, all super welterweight fights, Joel was originally fighting whoever was fighting, Wes Kappa. Wade was originally fighting Ben Marnie, and I put my name in the hat and said, if any of these fights pull out, I'll fight anyone on this card. So this was the first one that came up. I got 5 weeks notice, and you know, I was preparing the whole way through the lockdowns, making sure I was fit, making sure I was ready, and improving on my game. I've sharpened my tools. You know, the blade's ready, my mind's ready, and you're going to see a different Koen Mizutani this time around.
What's your prediction, Cohen?
Win no matter what. Joel's saying yesterday he's going to stop me. Mate, try your best. I'd love to see you try. It's not going to happen, I'm telling you now. You don't want to walk onto one of my big left hooks or right hands. We'll see it might go the other way.
Thank you very much, Carl Mizutani. Joel, response?
He's got to land a shot first, you know what I mean? Everyone always says that. Everyone says he'll knock me out. I haven't been dropped, I haven't been stopped. And I don't know if you watched his own last fight, but he got stopped his last fight. And he looked like he quit straight away as well in his eyes, you know. I judge someone by their eyes, and when he got hit by that shot, even when he got stopped, he looked around like he didn't know where he was.
You want to respond to that, Carl?
Mate, I had a staph infection going in that fight. I couldn't keep weight on. I fought someone with 30-plus fights. I didn't know there was a press conference. Didn't know it was co-main event. I had nothing going into that fight.
Sound like excuses to me.
Wade was a better man on the night. But yeah, 100%. My mind wasn't there on that night. So, you know.
You're doing meditation now, so you're right. You'll be sweet.
Exactly right.
Yoga, meditation, you'll be right, bro. It's all good.
At least I spend my time doing things for myself, not fucking on social media, showing everyone my weight, dancing around, being a clown. So, you know,
How you going, guys? Joel Camilleri here. How you doing?
Joel Camilleri.
Joel, are you underestimating your opponent?
No, I don't underestimate nobody, to be honest. I respect every single fight, I guess, in the ring. You know, everyone talks up Cohen. He's amateur, you know, background, everything else he's done. But I just believe that me, at my best, I just beat anyone that's in front of me. So I'm not underestimating him, but I'm confident I'll win the fight.
We saw him moving around yesterday. He did look like a different fighter, don't you think, Joel?
I know he looks good, man. He's tall, he's ripped, he's looking fit. I love that, man. Like, to me, I'd rather the best of him come. So after the fight, when I win, everyone says, Joel's actually a real good fighter.
And what does a win mean for you in a fight like this? Where does it take you?
Takes me on to bigger fights, you know, defend my title, my WBC Australasia title, onto bigger fights, more rankings, and, you know, 28 fights later after this fight, I expect to have to get to the world stage and start getting the big fights that I deserve.
And Joel, just a word on the main event as well. You've been sparring with Tim. You previously fought him at this venue. What do you think happens in our main event?
I think it's a much closer fight than people think. No, not closer, but like people are saying Tim's going to stop him early. I believe Tim's a better boxer. I believe Tim's going to work his magic, break the body, and I do predict that maybe a late stoppage, but it wouldn't surprise me if it goes the distance and Tim wins by unanimous decision. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That is Joel Camilleri. He'll fight against Cohen Mizutani. Looking forward to that bout. It is bout number 2 on the pay-per-view section of the broadcast. Bout 3 is Dennis Hogan against Tommy Browne. So 2 of the more experienced boxers in Australian boxing who've fought right around the world and been in some massive fights. We'll start with Tommy Browne. If you want to grab a microphone, please, Tommy, who's down at the front here, second from the end. Tommy, this is your 52nd professional fight. You've been around and done this so many times. How do you prepare for a fight with Dennis Hogan?
Yeah, look, I've had a really good training camp with Tommy McKerry. The lockdowns gave me a bit of time to reflect on myself and what I wanted in my boxing career, and I had a chat to Tommy and we spoke about this fight, having one more fight, and yeah, I've just been training now for about 4 months, pretty solid, and I'm prepared for whatever Dennis brings on the night, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Win, lose or draw, are you thinking like this is probably your last professional fight?
Look, I believe that it's going to go my way. So if it does, there's another one in the making. So look, I've trained really hard, and look, I'm going in there to win.
Big show. Must be great to be a part of these huge occasions yet again, as you have been so many times during your career.
Yes, no limits there. They've put on some great fight nights, and for it to be in Sydney in front of my people, look, I'm stoked to be able to be a part of it.
There'll be a big section of the crowd there just for you, I would imagine. You always bring plenty of people to the fights. It must be great to have that local support.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a good following, and they've supported me throughout my boxing career, and I'm sure there's going to be a big turnout on Wednesday night, and yeah, I'm just really excited about this tonight.
And how do you beat Dennis Hogan?
Just be better every way. You know, he's a very classy fighter. He's been in there with, you know, the best in our division, and I'm expecting a really good, exciting fight. You know, I just got to be better in every way I possibly can.
Thank you very much, Tommy Browne. His opponent is Dennis Hogan, former world title challenger, who joins us down the front. Welcome, Dennis. Great to have you with us, as always. This is a big fight for you that you really do need to win at this stage of your career. How's your preparation been for it?
Preparation has been very well. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone, No Limit, Tommy as well, and the team for making this fight. This fight is a great fight in terms of two guys about to have another title run again, putting it all on the line where we are in our career. I just think there's no better fight. So thank you to everyone for it, and I really look forward to putting on a great show.
You must know a lot about Tommy Browne. He's been around for so long and had so many fights. What have you made of what he's done in his career so far?
He's had an unbelievable career, and so a lot of people would aspire to have a career like that, and also with myself too. So I think it's very evenly matched in that regard. Yeah, and again, like I said, I'm just very, very happy that this fight got made. If I was given a wish list, back about a year ago, I was talking about what fight would really make sense for me to kind of launch an assault back in a world title fight again, and I thought this fight would be brilliant, and it didn't look like it was going to happen, and then No Limit brought it to us, which I just thought was phenomenal. So this is great for boxing, and I really want everyone to enjoy this fight.
Dennis, you should be a former world champion after being robbed in Mexico. Do you see this as a springboard back towards those world title shots?
Well, that's exactly what this is, yeah, for me. And, if I'm past my best, I'm ready to accept that. But I wasn't thinking that in this camp. I was really putting in. And, for me, this is all or nothing. This is either, if it didn't go my way, I'd have to look at that and make a genuine decision for me and my family. But with a good win here, that propels me right back to where I know I should be. So, all going well, that'll be it.
How do you win the fight, Dennis?
Mate, just do what I do well. I think, if anyone here is a big boxing fan, they'll know what I do well. And it's really just about doing that. I think applying adamant pressure and keeping that going. So, we certainly have the platform to do that for my camp, and I look forward to executing.
Thank you very much. That is Dennis Hogan. He fights Tommy Browne. You'll see that on main event pay-per-view. And now we move to the co-main event of the evening. It's an outstanding fight for the IBO International Super Welterweight title, and it is between Wade Ryan and Nwachukwu from Japan, who joins us down the front. He'll be joined by his translator, Lauren Goodman, who's going to help us out with the translations for Nath, as well as Takeshi Inoue shortly. Lauren, welcome to Nath. Great to have him here. How did he enjoy the experience yesterday at Bondi Beach?
昨日の公開練習はどうでしたか？
綺麗な海で楽しかったです。
It was just awesome to be able to practice like that and at such a beautiful beach. And thank you so much for having me.
He recently fought Takeshi Inoue, went the distance. What are his memories of that fight?
井上武史とやった試合の思い出はどうですか？
すごい強くてタフな選手で、自分的にもすごいいい経験になって自分の力に変わったと思ってます。
He's a really tough, accomplished opponent, and I really learned a lot from that fight. It was a great experience for developing my own abilities.
Before we talk about Nath's fight with Wade Ryan, can I get his prediction for the main event between Tszyu and Takeshi Inoue?
ナースのメインイベントの様子を聞きたいですね。Tszyuと井上の試合。
どっちもタフな選手だと思うんですけど、自分的には井上選手に勝ってもらって自分がまたリベンジしたいんで、ここは絶対井上選手が勝ってほしいです。
I know that Tim is an excellent boxer. He's very tough. We know what he brings to the table. But I also, having fought him myself, I know a lot about Inoue, and I'm hoping that Inoue wins so that I can get my revenge on him.
Outstanding. That's a great answer. Thank you, Nath. Now to his fight, a huge fight against Wade Ryan. What does he know about his opponent?
相手ウェイド・ライアン選手何かご存知ですか？どんな印象ですか？
タフな選手という印象です。
He's very tough, durable.
What is Nath's prediction for this fight?
要素は試合の要素はどうですか？
俺か。
はい。
自分が KO で勝つと思います。
I believe that I will win by knockout.
Thank you very much to Nath. And now we go to his opponent, Wade Ryan, who's down the ends of the front table. Wade, you're becoming a regular fixture on these No Limit shows. Exciting to be back a part of it.
Yeah, mate, it's another cracker show. I'd like to thank Matty, George, Trent, the boys at No Limit for putting me on again and fighting on a massive card. Look at the undercard, look at the main event. It's a massive international show. Yeah.
How's Gunnedah going to enjoy Wednesday night? I'm sure the pubs will be packed and everyone will book the pay-per-view. What's it like being the king of Gunnedah at the moment?
Yeah, mate, they're getting right behind me, and right behind the whole experience, and they're enjoying it. The pubs will be packed, and they'll be cheering us on come Wednesday night.
Tough fight. We just heard from Nath. His prediction is that he'll be stopping you in this fight. What have you made of what you've seen of him?
Yeah, mate, when Ben Mahoney pulled out, we were talking to Matty and Spike, my trainer, and that, and they mentioned a few opponents, and then they mentioned Nath, and we thought about it, and it's a huge fight, like it's an exciting fight. Two international fights, as in Tim's and Inoue's, and then mine and Nath's, and we jumped at it, you know what I mean? It's going to be a tough fight, but it's a good fight.
How do you beat him?
Being smart, being sharp, and it'll be a good fight.
Thank you very much, Wade Ryan. So that is an outstanding co-main event. We really look forward to that. So 2 Australia v Japan fights as the co-main and the main event. And that's where we head now. Our main event between Tszyu and Takeshi Inoue. So up here on the top table, we'll just start with Takeshi's trainer, Tszyu. And again, Lauren will translate if that is okay. I just wanted to get some thoughts on where Takeshi is at the moment. We've seen him turn up looking so good. How has his preparation been, and where is he at in his boxing at the moment?
会長は今までの準備とコンディションはどうですか？
世界戦ヒューストンでやった世界戦の時より全然その時よりも非常に調子がいいです。
His condition right now is even much better than it was in Houston when we challenged for the world title.
Why does he believe that Takeshi wins this fight against Tszyu? What's he seen in Tszyu that makes him vulnerable?
何かティムス選手の弱点とか見たり、それと
Man, I want to speak Japanese.
そんなに勝つ自信持ってますか？
いやチムチュー選手はズー選手は非常に素晴らしい選手で、すごい紳士的な男だっていうのをテレビの画面からもすごい感じてましたと、日本から感じてた。ただ、それ以上にたけしは、体のパワースピード、全てにおいて今のたけしは申し訳ないけどズより上を行ってると、それで勝つ気しかしない。
Since we've been watching and studying him in Japan before we've come over here, we have seen that Tim Tszyu is an incredible boxer, and we respect him very much. He's also a real gentleman, and we appreciate that. But I'm sorry to say that having gone through these preparations extensively, I do believe that Takeshi surpasses him, is superior to him in both power and speed.
Fantastic, great answer. Thank you to Tszyu. Thanks again to Lauren. Now we'll head to the other end of the table, and the manager of Tszyu is Glenn Jennings. Glenn, what a ride. This is the 20th professional fight for Tszyu. It's been quite a journey to get here.
Oh, it has been. 4 years, very busy for Tim. He's one of those fighters that won't sit and wait for anybody. And here we go, 20th time. And this is the 20th time we've been up here, and the 20th time we've heard that our opponent is going to be better than Tim, and to date that hasn't come to fruition. So it's exciting. We're privileged to be here. We've had a great run in, and I always like to take the opportunity to thank No Limits, George and Matt and Trent and the boys for giving us these opportunities on this wonderful stage, and looking at these guys down in front. This card is as good a card as you'll see anywhere in the world, and so everybody should take advantage. But from our side, Tim's ready. He's always ready. We never have any lack of confidence that he's going to take care of business, and he'll do so again on Wednesday.
Tim obviously has to focus on Wednesday night, but you and I and No Limit can look ahead to what is next. Is it your understanding that there's a world title shot in the offing the very next fight if Tim Tszyu wins?
It's a very exciting time right now for Team Tszyu 2 and No Limits and the Australian boxing fans, that it's a very real opportunity and a very real chance that our next outing will be against Browne Castano for that world title. It's just a matter of timing now to see whether or not the mandate gets enforced, and we'll roll on with that. But it's not something we discuss as a team. We are very, very fixed and focused on Takeshi for Wednesday night. We don't ever go too far forward. It's all about what happens on Wednesday. So another victory, Tim's hand raised again, and then we'll huddle on Wednesday night afterwards immediately to move on to the next stage. And for everybody involved, we would love to be able to announce soon that it will be for that world title.
Okay, thank you very
gets
much,
enforced.
Glenn, and good luck to you and the team on Wednesday night. Now we do move to the fighters in the main events of the evening, and with a record of 17-1-1, here is the WBO's number 6 super welterweight in the world. Welcome again to Takeshi Inoue, and Lauren will do the translations for us once again. Takeshi, welcome again to you. How have you enjoyed your experience here in Australia so far?
オーストラリアにようこそオーストラリアに入って聞いてどうですか楽しんでますか？
はいそのオーストラリアの雰囲気も素晴らしいですし、人の温かさもすごい感じていいコンディションが作れてます。
I've had a wonderful time. I want to thank everyone from No Limit, the Rose Brothers, for giving me this fantastic opportunity. The people here have been so warm and welcoming to me. It's really helped me in my preparation.
Takeshi turned up looking fantastic, but he's obviously going to have to drop some more weight. Can we ask what he is weighing right as we speak?
見たらすごく体が締まってるんですけど、多分もう少し減量しなければならないので、どれぐらいまで順調にいってますか？
はい、あとはいつも通りなんですけど、あと数キロ水分カットをするだけになってるんで、順調ですね。
Everything's going right on target. Just have a little bit more to lose, and no problems, no issues.
I just wanted to ask, with regards to his confidence that he wins this fight, what gives him that confidence? What has he seen in terms of a weakness in Tszyu?
なぜこんなに自信を持ってますか？もしかしたら相手に弱点とか見えてますか？
そうですね、弱点というよりはやっぱり信頼している斉田会長、斉田トレーナーが勝てると言ってくださってるってこともあったりとか、あとは1年ほど前からティムズ選手の動画とかは拝見してるんで、それで自分と噛み合う、勝てるんじゃないかなとずっと思ってきたんで、自分を信じて戦うだけです。
It's not at all that I've really seen any weaknesses, to be honest, but I do believe it's more has to do with what my trainer has been, how he's been working with me, and how he is very confident. And then also when I have watched Tim Tszyu, his fights, I can see very clearly that in many ways I think he's made to order for me.
He's already fought for one world title and went the distance very impressively with Jaime Munguia. What does a victory here mean? Does he expect that it'll be a world title shot next if he beats Tim Tszyu?
井上選手はもう世界戦経験ありますけど、今回勝つとまた世界行きますか？どういう予想してますか？
そうですね、この試合に勝つということは本当に世界タイトルマッチにつながる、もしくはその後世界戦ということもあると思うので、もちろんそのためにボクシングを始めたので、世界チャンピオンになれるようにこの試合絶対勝ちたいと思います。
Yes, exactly. This is my chance to get back to the world title. It's what I've been working towards from the beginning of my career to realize my dream as a world champion.
Can we ask for Takeshi's prediction for the fight and how it happens?
試合の様子を教えてください。
はい、ティム選手は本当に素晴らしい選手なので、そうそう簡単に勝てるとは思っていません。 ですが私が、中盤から終盤にかけてKO で勝つということはということとのいうように予想してます。はい。
I realize that Tim is an extraordinary opponent, so I'm not planning. I don't expect it to be an easy fight. I'm just going to apply myself, give it 100%, and I will be going for the knockout.
Does he expect that he'll knock Tszyu out?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to Takeshi Inoue and to Lauren for his translations today.
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
Thank you.
And that takes us to the final fighter up here to speak to. He's the mandatory world title challenger, a record of 19-0 with 15 stoppage victories. He is the soul taker, Tszyu. Tim, a very confident opponent. Is it any different to what you've seen in previous opponents, what Takeshi's saying?
Look, if you're not confident, then what's the point of fighting? I think no one's going to come into a fight knowing that they're going to lose. Each and every one of these fighters here on the stand thinks they're going to win, and that's what makes boxing so interesting, is that when you've got two fighters thinking they're both going to win, it's always going to be a good fight.
What do you think it is that these fighters see in you as a weakness? What do they think they can exploit and it turns out the other way?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I might look a bit weird in there inside, but once we get in the ring, I guess it all changes. It's good seeing all the boys here, actually. Each and every one of them I've shared the ring with, and it's great to see and have them all on this big platform together. But yeah, the question, I don't know. I guess let him find out.
And what do you see in terms of a weakness in Takeshi Inoue from watching his fights?
Well, his manager said before, speed and power. But I've been taught differently. In boxing, speed and power is not the main thing. It's what's inside your brain and your IQ, being 10 steps ahead of your opponent. You can be the quickest puncher, you can be the hardest puncher, you can do everything perfect, but if you aren't able to have the IQ and know what you're doing, it's not going to get you anywhere.
Why are you having this fight, Tim? You could wait, potentially have a world title fight early next year instead, but you are risking everything against Takeshi Inoue. Why?
Look, I'm a born fighter and I'm here to fight 3-4 times a year, so that's what I do, What am I going to sit on the sideline and sit at home, wake up at 11 a.m? I got things to do, things to achieve. I got bodies to punch and faces to hurt, and that's what I like to do.
He says that he's going to break your spirit in this fight. How do you respond to that?
He was joking. He was joking. He's not going to try to do that. Well, he might try, but he's not going to do that. And we all know that he's not going to do that. And we all know, as you said before, the soul taker, and that's what I like to do, is take the soul.
Is this a fight where you try and send a message to the likes of Browne Castano about how good you are and what's coming?
You know what? It's a similar type of style to Browne Castano, that walk forward, small little boy, big muscly, swinging type style. So it's going to be a good test to that world stage, of course, and it is a world caliber opponent. I do respect everything that he's done, but man, I've come into this sport to achieve not just world title, but world titles in multiple divisions. So I'm here for the long run. I'm 27 years old. I've been in front of the cameras now for 6-7 fights. Each fight feels like a world title, and the caliber and the atmosphere feels like a world title. He's fought in one world title, which was massive, but at the end of the day, I fought on bigger stages, and it could be for a belt, it could not be for a belt. Matter of fact, all of that stuff doesn't matter. It's just the fight that counts.
Did you just call him a little boy?
Not little boy. He's just a shorter boy. I mean, I didn't mean it in that way, but just a shorter boy, muscly boy, bodybuilder type style with a swinging punch. You know what I mean?
Prediction, Tim. How does it end?
Look, in all honesty, I'm in that mode now, in that zone that I just want to hurt people, and I said it before, under 6 rounds, but we'll see if I want to hurt him for a bit longer. I'll decide. We'll see on the night.
Thank you very much, Tim Tszyu. So that is our main event. It is Tim Tszyu and Takeshi Inoue to repeat. Tickets still available for Kudos Bank Arena via Ticketek. Otherwise, you can watch it on main event, order via mainevent.com.au. You can watch that on KO or via Foxtel. A huge night of the fights this Wednesday night. We'll see you, of course, at the weigh-in at midday here tomorrow. But we very much look forward to this fight. Tszyu v Inoue. It's on main event on Wednesday night. I'm Ben Damon. I'll see you at the fights.
They're not going to face off the fighters? What the hell was that steam? Did y'all see that? What the hell was the...
Weigh-in at midday here tomorrow. But we very much look forward to this fight. Tszyu v Inoue. It's on main event on Wednesday night. I'm Ben Damon. I'll see you at the fights. This is world...
Yeah, what's going on, Jay? We're live.
How you going, mate?
All right. Looks like I forgot that sometimes when main event does the streams, they don't face off the fighters, you know, or they up like.
No, they didn't do a face off. Yeah, normally sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, that's a little.
Right.
That's a little weird for me. But what did you think for the other press conference? I mean, it bored me to tears. I mean, I expected, you know, I didn't really expect too much, but we did see a little bit of personality from Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, a little bit there, a little bit saying he's going to knock him out in 6 rounds and calling him a little boy and all that sort of shit. But that's the thing, that you got to remember, there's only really 1 or 2 flamboyant boxers in Australia. Everyone else is very soft-spoken, as you've seen. I mean, Mundine Zarafa and Paul Gallen, that's about it. Everyone else is just like, whatever, knock him out. Bloody hell, if I had my time over again, I would have been a boxer. I would have been the best talker going. You wouldn't be able to shut me up. But anyway, those guys just aren't flamboyant talkers. So, yeah, it is a little bit, you know, oh, geez, someone say something derogatory, but, you know, you don't get that from Australian boxers.
I like how Ben was trying to get what weight Inoue was at, you know, because he showed up to fight week pretty big. I like that he, you know, he tried to get an answer, and of course, what fighters do, you know, fighters don't really talk about what their weight is during fight week. So he basically said, you know, according to the translation, you know, we're there, got a little bit more to go, but we're there.
Oh, well, he looked about, 175 when he rocked up the other day?
Huge. Yeah, he looked huge. Huge.
Friggin' huge. But, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be the first boxer to drop 20 pounds in fight week to do a fight. Jeff Horn did that all the time when he was a welterweight. So that's nothing. But, I think... Sorry, no, you go ahead.
All right, well, let's start with the pay-per-view portion of the undercard first and talk about what these fights mean. I find it funny that they put No Limit put together a card with basically the main fighters have all lost to Tim Tszyu. That's something I don't remember ever seeing before, where the 3 build-up fights to the main event are all guys that have lost to the main event fighter. Dennis Hogan, Joel Camilleri, Wade Ryan. Out of all 3 of those fights, which one do you think is going to be the most exciting?
Probably, I think the Wade Ryan fight will probably be the most exciting one. Possibly the Joel Camilleri one, but Wade Ryan is like, he's a hard bastard. You know, you can't get 2 words out of him, but he's a hard bugger. He's the one, remember, who did knock down Tim Tszyu.
Yeah.
So... And I don't think that fight with Nath, I can't pronounce his last name problem, with the Japanese fighter, I don't see that one possibly going past 8 rounds. I think Wade will get him. So, because while Wade is not a big puncher, he's he's a workhorse. He'll just wear you down, eventually just knock you out. So that's what I think what's going to happen there. So.
Yeah, but you know, as I said many times before, the Japanese fighters come to fight, so I expect for it to be a good fight. You're predicting a knockout. I'm not saying it won't happen, but this dude's never been stopped. And also, he's fought Inoue, you know, and they went 8 rounds back in November of last year.
Last year, yeah.
Now,
we'll see what happens.
Now, to get to the particulars, the fight's going to be taking place over in Australia on main event, Foxtel and KO pay-per-view platforms at $59.99. Here in the States, if we haven't heard anything yet this Sunday night, so it's looking like we're not going to have a TV deal here in the States, but I will try to find some type of way to watch the fight to make sure that we're covering the fight here on Wednesday morning, the 17th of November. Now, Tszyu, if you don't know, he is the WBO mandatory for Browne Castano. But, you know, one key term that Tszyu's trainer said, what's his trainer's name again?
His manager's name's Glenn Jennings.
So one thing he did say is that it's up to the WBO, you know, if they're going to mandate for Castano and Tszyu to fight sometime in the spring. But I'm sorry, I don't see the WBO doing it unless they know for sure that Charlo has to fight IBF contender Browne Murtazaliev. So let me break it down for you real quick. Charlo, WBC, WBA, IBF champion and Ring Magazine at 154 pounds. Browne Castano, WBO champion. They fought a few months back for the Undisputed, but it ended in a draw. Browne Murtazaliev is the current IBF mandatory. He fought on the undercard, but he's been waiting for his IBF shot for so long. So in order for Charlo Castano 2 to go through, Murtazaliev is going to have to sign off on it, possibly fighting for an IBF interim. And he'll be the first mandatory in line if Charlo and Castano fight, you know, and there's a winner of that Undisputed. Now, other relevant factors is Sergio Garcia and Sebastian Fundora. They've been ordered to fight in an eliminator to fight Erickson Lubin. I thought that Erickson Lubin was the mandatory for Charlo, but turns out seemingly it seems that he has to fight Sergio Garcia or Sebastian Fundora winner. They're going to be fighting December the 5th on the undercard of Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz. Erickson Lubin has been on social media voicing his concerns and basically saying, damn, how many mandatories do I have to fight? By the way, the WBC is currently right now having their 59th convention where Tuesday and Wednesday, they're going to be announcing all the mandatories for pretty much all of the divisions coming up very, very soon, including big fights like Tyson Fury and Dylan White. But as it stands right now, me personally, if Tszyu defeats Inoue, I don't see him getting a mandatory shot in next, whether it's March, April, or May. For some reason, I just don't see it. What are your thoughts, Big J, before we talk about Inoue?
Well, I don't see that either, because remember, you've still got the Russian guy, Kabanov, fighting Trexeri in December in Russia.
Correct, yeah, and I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't see Tszyu getting a shot until September, October of next year.
And we talked about that a year ago. That's pretty much the timeline that we predicted.
If he gets one at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, this, as they say, Tszyu doesn't sit around and wait for anyone. Well, he spent an entire year piss farting around fighting blown up welterweights where he should have went overseas and fought real competition.
Yeah.
So don't forget, this is the first ranked top 50 or top 10 opponent Tszyu has fought in the WBO since he fought Jeff Horn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's wasted an entire year mucking around fighting all these nobodies and an aging Dennis Hogan when he should have been overseas fighting, the Russian bloke or Liam Smith or, any of those guys.
Now, Tszyu was 19-0 with 15 KOs, but here is his last 5 opponents. Steve Spark in July of this year, Dennis Hogan in March of this year, Bowen Morgan in December of 2020, Jeff Horn in August of 2020, and Jack Brubaker in December of 2019. So, and in my opinion, yes, Takeshi Inoue, depending on how you look at Jeff Horn, because in my opinion, Jeff Horn was sick. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Jeff Horn didn't look like Jeff Horn, and Jeff Horn was also coming off of 2 wars with Mick Zarafa, a guy, that competes at 160 pounds and can possibly compete at 168. And then Dennis Hogan was also coming off of 2 wars, one of which a lot of people felt he should have won against Dennis Hogan, but he had those two brutal fights, but also coming off of a layoff. Takeshi Inoue, this is a guy right here that I don't think at 17-1-1 with 10 KOs, I'm not confident or think that Tszyu can stop him. I think it's going to go the distance. And what is the distance? Is this 10 rounds or 12 rounds?
I believe it's 12. It's 12 rounds.
According to Box Rec. He hasn't been stopped
it's 12 rounds
in his career. His resume is questionable, but he did fight Jaime Munguia in a very, very tough fight just less than a few years back, January of 2019. And Jaime Munguia just had a very, very tough fight with Gabriel Rosado, handing Gabriel Rosado his 15th defeat last night. So, the point, and remember now, now Munguia is competing at 160, where Inoue is at 154. So I guess what I'm saying is, not skill wise, but he is going to be, in my opinion, the toughest test for a Tim Tszyu at this time. And I want to see Tim Tszyu have to dig deep and go, an actual full 12 rounds. I want to see what tools that he has in the bags. How do you think the fight's going to go, and how do you want it to go?
Well, I'm going to say I don't want Tim to lose. So I think he needs a loss. It'll probably do him a lot of favours. But I think Joel Camilleri hit the nail right on the head in the press conference where he said people are saying Tim's going to get an early knockout. Yeah, that's not going to happen. A late knockout or even a points decision. I think it's going to be 12 rounds, a narrow win to Tim Tszyu.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think because Joel, Joel's fought him, Joel's sparred him all the time. Out of all those fighters, Joel's got the most experience with him, and he predicted that, Tim would, come out and topple Jeff Horner. I didn't believe him, and he did. So I'm going with what Joel says, because out of everyone in that press conference, he's got the most experience with him. So I think, narrow or points decision to Tim Tszyu personally. That's the way I think it's going to go. That's not the way I wanted to go, but I think that's the way it is going to go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a points decision as well. And if Tim Tszyu does win, I think it makes perfect sense for him to fight the winner of Castano versus Teixeira. If he can't get Castano, or the WBO doesn't mandate Castano. But as it stands right now, the whole 154-pound division is waiting on what's going to happen with Murtazaliev and the IBF, because nobody can make any moves till then. And both sides, Castano's side and Charlo's side, has been quiet, but we do know something is going on. And that's the fight right now that, is going to decide where the division goes. But as it stands right now, Tim Tszyu, if he beats Inoue, he's going to need another fight, and it's going to have to be, a guy like the names we mentioned, whether it's a Kurbanov, Murtazaliev, a Teixeira, a Liam Smith. Hell, if he fights even the loser of Sergio Garcia versus Sebastian Fundora. But as we talked about, the way things are looking, I really don't think that he's going to get a title shot, or he's going to be ordered, to actually get his title shot until, maybe, as you said, August, September, October of 2022. So in the meantime, he's got to rack up wins, kind of like Dylan White. Dylan White may be getting his title shot and get fights and put on fights that is actually going to grow his profile.
Well, the smartest thing for him to do is to fight Mazaliev, because he's the number one contender at IBF.
Yeah,
he needs another fight. So, right, mate, I'll put on my title shot against yours. Winner gets the pick of who they want.
And it's possible. And it's possible that they can fight for an IBF interim title. That's possible.
And that would be a massive fight. I mean, where's Mazaliev? He's a Russian, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Russian.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'll make that happen.
And
that would be a massive. Yeah.
Tim Tszyu's ranked number 3 by the IBF. It's very, very possible. It's very possible.
It's very, very. It makes perfect sense, because I honestly think the IBF will make Charlo fight Mazaliev. It's only how long is that poor bugger been waiting?
He's been waiting. It's going. Yeah, it's about a year, and it's a while. And the IBF doesn't make. Money talks and bullshit walks. But one thing the IBF has shown us is that they're strict, but they have had interim situations before. But in this case, I don't think they can push this fight off. I think something's going on there. But yes, I think that Charlo may have to fight. My heart's saying that Charlo's going to have to fight Murtazaliev.
Well, I mean, remember the IBF has put up with a lot of bullshit with the Lopez Cambosis thing, and they haven't changed their minds there. So it's only fair that old mate gets his title shot at Charlo.
Yeah.
And Castano just sits back and waits, or has an easy defense, and then fights Tszyu.
But exactly, because one even though he's the mandatory, he hasn't been ordered to fight him. So therefore, Castano can possibly have a interim fight before he's actually ordered to fight Tszyu. But then if that comes around, you know, Castano can still choose to fight the winner of Charlo versus Murtazaliev. And that further pushes back Tszyu because a unification, especially with the WBO, has shown us trumps a mandatory, especially if it's going to be for undisputed. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months with the IBF and the WBO at 154 pounds. But closing thoughts?
Well, here's an interesting thing. Main event has gone absolutely apeshit again, and they're showing every single, I think the last 6 or 7 fights of Tszyu in succession. 1 o'clock versus Brubaker, 2 o'clock versus Horn, 3 o'clock versus Hogan, 4 o'clock. They're just showing fight after fight after fight. They're even showing his earlier fights. Now, this is something that they normally don't do unless someone's having a title shot or it's Mundine versus Danny Green. So I think main event's getting a little bit out of control here with how much thing they're putting on Tszyu.
Yeah, but this is every fight now you say this. For the last 3-4 fights now, you've been saying this. So yeah, I guess
this is getting out of hand. I mean, they're actually showing all of his fights. They hadn't done this previously. This is getting really, you know, they're really getting behind him. I'm like, well, you know, there's other people out there that are having big fights.
Yeah,
but,
if he loses, you know, and put it this way.
If he loses, the fans of Fight U 360 need to get prepared for the most extreme post-fight interview ever, because I'm going to just go hardcore if Tszyu loses.
Yeah,
so stay tuned for that if he loses.
There was the warning, but also earlier this week and actually yesterday, we saw a big upset with 35-year-old long in the tooth. People thought he was done. Kiko Martinez beat Kid Galahad. So listen, upsets and
Terry Harper got her ass kicked too.
Yeah, so
Terry Harper got her ass kicked too.
Upsets can happen. Jose Benavidez on the Showtime card, brother of David Benavidez, who fought Terrence Crawford a few years back, got a gift decision against an Argentine out of nowhere. You know, so, you know, Inoue has a chance, especially since Tszyu hasn't seen, you know, Japanese fighters, especially Japanese pressure fighters, guys like Yoshihiro Kamagai, like they come, even though they're not defensively sound, they lead with their face, but they're hard to stop and they keep coming forward, you know, the samurai, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And our record against the Japanese is pretty much 50-50 now. They've caught up. We were leading there, but since the other Inoue, Inoue knocked out Maloney and Billy Dibb lost to a Japanese guy a while back. It's about 50-50 now. So if I was to go through all the records, I think it's about 50-50 between us and the Japanese. So I'm really looking forward to it because I'm sensing something here. I'm sensing something. I don't know what it is. It's just something I'm just sensing about this fight. I don't think it's just going to be it's certainly not going to be a run-of-the-mill fight for Tszyu. Anyone thinks this is he's going to walk in there and belt the daylights out of him, knock him out in 5 rounds. That's not going to happen. This bloke fought Jaime Munguia at the peak of his powers at 154, and he couldn't knock him out.
Yeah. And he's turning to at 160 now.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the Inoue aren't related. Just to point that out there.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not related. So a lot of people think they're cousins. No, they're not. So
well, we are going to be here for next is the weigh-in. Yeah, we're going to be here streaming the weigh-in. The weigh-in is what, 24 hours, right?
Pretty much. It'll be 12 o'clock tomorrow, so it's 10 to 12 Australian Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time now, so about 24 hours.
Yes, all right, so we will be here for the weigh-in. We'll talk a little bit more about the fight, and then on fight day, I'll be here with my original video, post-fight video. Me and Big J will be doing our video, and then we'll have a post-fight stream after and talk about what's next for Tszyu. Take your time out, like the video if you haven't, subscribe. We're going to be pumping out more Australian boxing content as we're back consistently now. And also we got a full Australian boxing podcast and live stream schedule in the current makings right now. So a lot of things moving forward, especially with an exciting 2022 ahead. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at OldMateBigJ, and right up the top, you'll see my Twitter handle at T Street Controversy. Our website for the rankings that are updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies is right here, FightView360.com. Please subscribe.